Lawrence Owen.
Hello, Coach Flus. Pleasure to meet you. Hope you're having a good day. My question is, you hear about familiarity with bringing back a bunch of players for a certain position group for basically uh, adding the cohesiveness. Now, the defensive back group, most of those were brought back from last year. How important is that to you to have all those people come back and build on that cohesiveness, especially with the zone defense that you like running?
Yeah, I would say that's important, really, Lawrence, at every position. The more guys you can bring back, the better, because it's just familiarity with your scheme. That you can basically build on what you've done last year. So when you try to put in a concept with a new group, man, that's the first thing they know, and it's hard to build upon that. So when you can do that with a cohesive group, defensive backs, we got our linebackers back. D line's got a little bit influx there with the defensive end position, but for the most part, we have a lot of guys back on defense, and I just think that allows us to build. We can build off of that, and that's what we're doing. We're looking at the ways we can build on our scheme to just make it real simple for us, more complex for the offense, and then kind of go from there.
All right, next we'll go to Michael Terrazas.
Hey, Matt, thank you for doing this. Are you looking to play Ben Banigou in a larger role this season, and how has he responded to a disappointing 2020 campaign?
Yeah, so Ben Banigou is in a good spot right now, and I say that because competition brings out the best in everybody. So that's what we're looking for. So we obviously drafted a couple of defensive ends, and that's just the reality of the NFL. And so competition is there, and it's in the room. So we're excited about where we see everybody fit in, and a lot of those defensive linemen can play along the lines. So we're excited about where they are. It's going to be the coaches' jobs and the GM and the scouting and Coach Frank to be able to look at that and say, where do these guys fit? Where do these pieces fit? So we're looking at that. That's going to be a process all the way through training camp, all the way through preseason, and then we'll decide from there. But Michael, that people, this is a hard game and guys get hurt, so people are going to have to play. So Ben Banigou is, however fast he rises up, he's going to have to play during the course of the season, as is Toure. And once Dial gets healthy, he's going to be in their plan. So, we're excited about the depth that we have because we're going to use it and we're going to need it.
All right, next we'll go to Destin Adams.
Thanks, Coach, for doing this. My question is, just from the little bit that you've had to look at the defensive rookies in rookie camp and mini camp so far, who's stood out to you? Who's already picking up the playbook pretty nicely? Things like that.
Okay. I would just say that Kwity Paye, he's just picked it up really good. In fact, Dio as well, the two defensive ends that we drafted there pretty early, those guys are special in terms of their functional intelligence. They're able to pick things up at a really fast rate. We've obviously trained different defensive ends that we've brought in here over the course of the years, and these guys are as bright as anybody. I mean, they really are, and it's a pleasant surprise to see. It's one thing Destin, when you have it in the classroom, but can you take it from the classroom onto the field, and then operate in a walkthrough setting, and then you got to take it from a walkthrough setting and operate at fast speed during the drills and during team periods. And those guys have done the step 1 and 2, and then obviously during training camp now we're going to be able to see them go full speed because we were kind of in a jog through mode during this off-season activity that we just did. But so we're excited about those defensive ends for sure.
All right, now we'll go to Cody Felger.
Hey, Matt, thanks for doing this. I'm curious, with the loss of Anthony Walker in free agency, that must signal a level of confidence in Bobby Okereke and these other linebackers in the room. So I'm curious, what about Bobby and these other linebackers make you feel confident in your decision to let a starter, a guy who started games for you like Walker, leave this offseason?
Yeah, I would say that really, when you look at Bobby, what he's done over the last couple of years, he's really done a nice job of splitting that time at the Mike linebacker position, and he's done a nice job. Obviously, his rookie year came on the scene, did a really nice job. We thought he had a solid year last year, and we think he's ready to make a big jump here. And he's working on things that are just basic to football. Bobby is, and it's really about footwork and keys and getting him faster to the ball and making him, hit the ball more. And have a competition with Darius to see who can do that better, and so those guys are really excited about it. And I really think that with the continuity with Bobby playing alongside Darius the entire time rather than splitting time, I think that will actually enhance his game and enhance our defense. So we're excited about that as well.
Rashad McGinnis.
Yes, thank you again for doing this and taking time out.
Sure thing, Rashad.
Marvell Tell, we saw him flash as a rookie, but obviously opted out last season due to COVID. How he's looked so far in OTAs?
Yeah, so we were pleasantly surprised with how he looked. He came back in. He was in outstanding shape. He's been doing different things like yoga, and his body looks really good in terms of what he's done, the work he's put in over the course of the year. And I just see a different level of maturity. I know it's been a year, but it just seems like him being away from the game. I think he really, felt how much he loves the game of football and how much he missed it. And I think he has a better appreciation for the game of football and where he is. And I think he knows he's in a prove it spot, where he's got to go out and prove it and earn it. And we're certainly, wanting him to do that because we know what kind of talent he is. Because rookie year came out and just really played really nice for us at times, and we're expecting him to make that big jump this year. So there's going to be a lot of competition in that corners room, and we are pumped about that.
All right, Jeremy Swopes.
How's it going, Coach?
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
Very good, very good. I was wanting to know, with the losses of Anthony Walker and Danico Autry and Justin Houston, are there any players specifically that you're looking to step into those roles and maybe make a jump out this year and really break out?
Yeah, so obviously all three of those players were productive for us. They are mature players that had a maturity to them in our unit that's going to be hard to replace. There's no doubt about that. But I will say this, we feel really good about where Tyquan Lewis is at our end spot and him playing in that position. We feel really good about that. We also feel really good about where Teray is. Teray is going to be healthy for the first time in a long time, and he's been working his tail off to get to that point. He's in a good spot mentally and physically, so we're excited about that. And also we got Quiddy. Quiddy's a guy we just drafted. He's just uber quick. I just found this out. Well, I didn't find it out, but I would say, how do you move that fast around those cones? He goes, well, you remember, Coach, that I played halfback in high school. I said, well, yeah, I remember that now, but you could tell that he looks like a halfback going around those cones for sure. So we're excited about him there. And then, the third spot is the Mike linebacker. And, like I stated before that, Jeremy, that Bobby Okariki's played there half the time for the last 2 years. So we're excited about where he is and the production that he's going to bring. So we're in a good spot. We got younger at those positions, and we're gonna fill those holes with some good players.
All right, got time for a few more here. Elliot Denton Singh.
Hi, Coach. Thanks again for doing this. In terms of the defensive line, obviously you've added a lot of pieces. How do you see that playing out in keeping everyone happy with the competition? And also with the 3-technique defensive tackle spot, who do you see to be stepping up in terms of depth behind DeForest?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And the depth in terms of who's going to play where and all those things, that's going to be worked out during training camp. So we're looking at those things right now. I don't think those things can be solved right away. I actually think that sometimes coaches put these roles on players too early, and without looking at them first. And I think that you ought to let that happen naturally, where you look at guys over a course of a week, 2 weeks during training camp into some preseason, and then they start to define their own roles through their production. So I think sometimes as coaches, we kind of put these guys in boxes, and sometimes I think that hurts our vision a little bit. We don't want to do that. So we've been very conscious not to do that. So we want to make sure that we keep an open mind with where the roles are. And this is really at any position. So we're looking at the backup, 3, the backup 1, the backup end spots. And again, that's going to be a process that we need to go through.
Stephen Burton.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking time again. To kind of piggyback on what you were saying earlier, I guess with Quiddy coming in and looking as good as he has, how have you seen Teray respond?
Well, Teray's been on the side. He's still going through rehab. But like I was saying, Stephen, that we think that he's really in a good mental state right now. He's got a great mindset. His frame of mind is really good. He's been studying. He's been engaged in meetings. He's at their walkthrough. Paying attention, listening. Coach Race coaches him up on the side. As well as Brian Baker. So he's in a good spot, and we're just excited about him getting him fully healthy and letting him, turning him loose, and then see where it goes from there. But yeah, he's doing well.
All right, and then we'll finish here with Matthew Radden.
Oh, yes, sir. I really appreciate you taking my question. I know we talked about a lot of guys, from Kwity Paye, to a lot of guys in the backfield. Is there anybody that you want to highlight in particular? Anybody that we haven't talked about that you think has really done a good job so far?
Yeah, there's so many guys. I would say, I've been impressed with Kenny Moore. Kenny's done, in terms of his leadership this offseason, the way he's moved around in drills and what he brings to the table, and just in terms of being an all-around player and all-around person. I just can never say enough about Kenny Moore. So I would just want to highlight him because he's everything we stand for, and we're certainly glad that we have him. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.